RCO to my Niji. As you can see from the title, the Real Amerindians is woke. Okay. Go ahead and tap those hearts if you're watching on TikTok. And no matter where you're really watching from, you can always engage with whatever heart buttons you see on the platform. Engagement is how people find the Hood to Hooded podcast, which is a podcast to help us grow, to go from hood to hooded. I am your host, Dr. Chiefess Sunflower, so welcome to the room. Alright, so you guys, let's see. I'm going to give it a little time for the family to check in. Let me know how you feeling this morning. Let me know where you watching from. OCO to my Niji. Sending love to all the copper tone melanated, beautiful, kind beings across the globe, across Turtle Island. Just sending love to the tribes, especially my tribe in the southeast, the Mississippi Mound Builders, the Muskogeans, the Creek, the Seminole, the Appalachee. Sending love to Tallahassee. Okay. So this morning we keeping it light, but we keeping it real and we keeping it honest, how we always do. Period. I have learned so much this week, and today was supposed to be my day to go in on like history and prison, I just been so emotional learning about this history this week that today I need to take it easy. So I want y'all to come in, show the love, share the vibes, let me know where you watching from, how you feeling, how you doing, what's going on. Have you been doing your research? Are you doing your genealogy? Where are we in the journey? It's all about really just unifying and being a community. So most people want you to think that, oh no, the propaganda worked. Everything that they taught us in history worked. This is the thing that I'm getting. Can we keep it real or can we keep it real? Y'all want me to keep it real? Let's keep it real. That's the only way to do is to keep it real, because there's a lot of pseudo history going on, you know. But you're not crazy. You're just remembering. We're just remembering. When I go back and I read history and I remember and I see and people say something, but then you go read it for yourself, you show yourself approved, man, you unlock so many generational curses. And right now I have been in a generational curse unlocking season, baby. We in a season of unlocking this shit. We in a season of not allowing the words of colonizers and pretendians, all these words, to infect and get us off of course, as they have done so many times. But our great ancestors, I'm going to tell you something about my ancestors, boy. These people were warriors. These people were geniuses, builders, great in every aspect of agriculture, mechanical, building, even through the oppression, even through the lies, even through the erasure, the genocide, the democide, the homicide, every kind of side you can think of. We still rise. Like Maya Angelou said, still I fucking rise, man. So if you've been feeling like history books lied, like your grandparents' story don't match the school version, it's for a reason. Like your bones remember a land, your ID card doesn't. You're not crazy. You're waking up and you're not alone. I was so dumbfounded, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all this story. I was so dumbfounded. When my dad told me that in high school, him and the melanated Niji, well, he didn't know that he was melanated Niji. He think that he's black because this is what they teach in school. So he told me, and he didn't tie it together, and I had to tie it together, that they used to force them to watch Roots in school. And then after school, used to be a fight because they was trying to teach them in school that was them in the Roots movie. if that ain't propaganda, and they were doing this at school in the 80s. He said they would force them to watch it. Now, my thing is, the thing that gets me about history is, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. It all makes sense why you would want to disempower, disenfranchise, confuse, mentally block, propagate, just re-narrate, and do the most heinous things to the Amerindians, and act like they don't exist. But like I said, you must not know who my ancestors are. They're the ones who gave you the traffic lights you use right now. They're the ones who gave you the lights you use right now. They're the ones who created the spoons and the forks you use right now. The AC you use right now. A lot of the things you use right now. They're the ones who cultivated the crops that you eat right now. They're the ones who owned and picked and got seeds from the land, from the cotton that you wear right now. Those are my ancestors. Oh, and this internet, this TikTok, they're the ones who created that you use right now. And let's not stop there. The GPS, they're the ones who created the GPS you use right now. So when you ordering your Uber Eats, or when you traveling, you doing all this stuff on the internet, you got my ancestors to thank. Slave, what? They don't do stuff like that. Y'all thought y'all could have our brain locked up for so long. But we woke, motherfucker. And honestly, we never went to sleep, because how could you go to sleep with these type of things happening to you? We was never asleep. We was just banned from doing a lot of things, and now we don't really give a fuck. When it comes to this knowledge, I ain't gonna even say that, but when it comes to this knowledge, y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. Alright. So we're talking about the real Amerindian story, the ones whose land this is, whose bloodlines never left, but whose paperwork got rewritten from Turtle Island, to all over the world. Indigenous people worldwide are remembering. We are in a remembering season that you can't silence us. You can't ban us. You can't shut us up. You can try to do everything you can, but the ancestors, they're running the show right now. In case you didn't know, they're the ones who's running the show. All right, they're the ones who running the show. So, I don't even know where to start. Let's see what we gonna start this morning. Let's check in on TikTok, because I see the hearts going up. Thank you for liking the live. That girl Shaz, she lighting it up. Adam Tattoos Brady put an M. I don't know what that means. Adam got the number 2 get their badge. That girl Shaz lighting it up. I'll try to catch all the messages. Angela M got the number 2 get their badge. So my goal is to show the tribe people that we are part of a real living wave. This is not an incident. Every day I wake up, I'm so excited, and some of the information is hurtful, but I'm so excited the passion that our people have. We not letting nothing stop us. That girl Shaz followed. So let's start with genealogy and receipts. People are digging into their grandparents' surnames, land deeds, graveyards, church books, freedmen records, tribal rolls, etc. to unlock the code. And I'll tell y'all what really unlocked the code for me, because in order to unlock the code in yourself, you really have to do the work. Like, otherwise you're gonna be lost. Like, I don't really know where I'm from with my tribe. But when you do the work and you see those tombstones, not tombstones, but when you see those like records from your genealogy, the census bureaus, the death certificates, the marriage certificates, the newspaper articles. You go and find the grave sites of your living relatives right here. It is just like, whoa, I didn't even know my people was right here. This distinguishes the DNA hype, which we know is for entertainment purposes only, versus the paper trail. The paper trail is what is messing up the current government right now, because their ancestors didn't have the internet. They didn't have like the telephone systems and all of these things that we have now. So they wrote everything down. And then they said, oh, well, it's illegal for you to read what we wrote down, so we just gonna ban reading and writing. That didn't last long, because basically we pretty much invented reading and writing. How you gonna ban everything that we, it doesn't make any type of sense. So until you do the research on your tribe, or someone in your tribe does it, everyone is gonna be lost in the tribe. It has to start there with your ancestry. It's so, I wouldn't say super easy, but it is kind of easy to go on Ancestry.com, fill in your parents' names. I'm not talking about doing a DNA test. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually going and seeing these records that say inhabitants. It changed something in you, so then you know that you know who you are, and no one can tell you. And my thing is, how can people who never met you from all types of parts across the world, people whose parents is immigrants and they over here claiming that they something else, try to tell you who you are? It doesn't make sense. Y'all need to have several seats. Listen, if you're an immigrant trying to tell someone who's indigenous who they are because they've been a POW for this whole time, I need you to have several fucking seats. Okay? Because you're not even like the presidents, we already know their whole parents all come from like Irish and Scotland and England. They not even from here either, but they up in the White House, something that our ancestors built. They was leased and enslaved to build these things for these people who wasn't even from here because of evilness. We just gonna call it evil. Let's just call it what it is. And they over here acting like we, it just, I don't even know what to even say about like history. Whenever you tamper with history, you do a very, very bad thing. Like, whenever you write pseudo history, whenever you lie, when you start your whole, imagine you building a foundation on a cesspool of cow shit. Your house is gonna crumble. That's what the U.S. government and the society we live in now here in America seems to think is okay. It won't last. That's why the Amerindians had to go back and do our own history. We couldn't let other people tell our history. Because you know what happened when other people try to tell your history? They get it all fucked up. They try to act like you low. They try to trick you to think melanin is bad. They don't even want to tell you, oh, melanin is something we can't figure out. It's to protect you. I see people now drinking melanin on TikTok. What? This is the world we live in now. So look beyond your label as African American, because that was something given to you. And if you know anything given to you, forced on you, it can't be the truth. We just got to know this. You just got to know this. You just got to break that generational curse first. Believe in everything other people tell you you are. That's how you stop believing in yourself. Listening to everything everybody telling you are, this person said, you need to go do the research for yourself. Know who you are for yourself. I didn't realize who my great-grandparents were. My great-great-grandparents, I didn't know their names when I was in this colonized mindset, thinking that I was from some other continent. And then when I started doing my research, I was like, damn, I know all my grandparents. Wow. It's just that simple to wake the fuck up. Okay? So the cultural memory bubbling up in you is not a joke. They want to say, oh, African Americans don't have a culture. What? I believe that's a fucking lie. Because I see everybody copying the African so-called American, aka the American Indian, who doesn't even know that they're the blueprint. Because just imagine if we were really brought over here on some boats and all of this fucking BS. Why everybody copying us? How we get to inventing and all that? Come on, man. It doesn't make sense. So now that we know who we truly are and all the lies that's coming out and people is just waking up to the truth, I'm just so proud. I'm so proud to see it. So families are reusing old names, reviving traditional foods. We learning about herbal medicines. We just getting back in tune with every part of us, and it's something that we have to continue doing. The youth is questioning school textbooks, going to the archives, reading decolonial history. This is so vital, and I'm so excited to see everybody getting on the same wavelength. And if you haven't got on the same wavelength, then hopefully you catch up, because there is an urgency. It's an urgency for you to wake up and know who you truly are. I'm not talking about nothing someone told you, but what you read and learn for yourself. So with the land back and the resurgence of getting the land back, and these type of movements where indigenous people are organizing to reclaim stolen lands and waters, people are doing protests to get the lands back, legal cases, so much to do to get the land back. And that's the truth. Like, at the end of the day, that's what it's about, the land. I see Trump just came out with a new 50-year mortgage. This is nothing but trying to control your whole life again. They said, oh Lord, they went to 50 years to keep you stuck like Chuck. Now is not the time to be going to get a 50-year mortgage. Now is the time to really be trying to link up, get some family land. Like, that's really what time it is. Okay? So my question is, have you guys ever did your genealogy? Have you ever researched yourself and your family? Where are you in the process? My thing is, I really want to research like on a deeper level on what's really the next step. Like, you know, what is really the next step? What do we do from here? What do we do from here, guys? Where do we take this knowledge? Where do we take it? Okay? So in Canada, they're doing I Don't Know More. There's grassroots indigenous movements in Canada that rose in 2012 with people gathering, marching, demanding respect for treaties, land, and water. What's going on, Clifford 2000 fan? The UN drip as a global mirror. So UN drip says that indigenous people have the right to self-determination, land, language, culture, and participation in decisions that affect them. This is something that the U.S. kind of does not talk about, but you do have this right. But it's not something that's pushed here, because if we had the right to do that, what they say, they're going to try to destroy it. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't still pursue these paths. I just watched a video. I think it was, let me get the day right, May 13th, 1985, in Philadelphia, when the government dropped a bomb on the Amerindian community. Yeah. So that's what happens every time we try to do something. There's scare tactics. But I'm going to tell you something. Nothing is worse than living a lie among people who think that you don't know that you're woke, and everybody's just under the spell and paying taxes and all this history of so much war, and it has to stop. Your fangs are especially bright today. I'm in a good mood today. I'm trying to keep it light, you know. I've been learning so much, so I'm just trying to keep it light today. What are we going to do about the racism in this country? That's what we're talking about now. The first thing is to wake up. The more people wake up, the more people teach, the more people remove the fear, the more people stop renting and really start considering ownership, the more people unify and stop ignoring the government and just being on their every move. And you know, we just really got to get out of their system every type of way possible. And that's what is the hard part about it, because the government doesn't want you out of the system. They want you in the system so they can control you, so they don't give you the option to say, hey, we know y'all don't want to be in our system, we know y'all the true American Indians, here's the paperwork to get out. You know, like, we shouldn't even need paperwork to get out. I don't know, like, we in a weird space. I feel like, you know the movie A Wrinkle in Time? That's what we are in, a wrinkle in time. We are actually going to be talked about 20, 30 years from now about the people who fought history, because it's a war on history right now. Everybody trying to get the number one spot, and they already know who in the number one spot. That's why there is racism. And when I said the number one spot, I mean just indigenous, autochthonous, the originators, the creators. When you hold people like this down, you won't last long, because we always going to create something to get on your ass again. That's why, like I just said, the internet, this was created by our ancestors, and they were so futuristic. They said, we are Lala. What's up, Lala? Yes, we are. Our ancestors were so futuristic, they created something that we're using right now in 2025, and we finally using it to unlock history. Say hi. I didn't watch the movie Zootopia yet. I have been so sleepy, like, it's been crazy. I haven't watched it yet, but it's definitely on my to watch list. I'm not really a big TV watcher, but when it's something like that, I will have to find time to watch it. Hopefully this weekend. Like, even now, I gotta get off of here. I got a busy Saturday planned, but yeah, I don't really care about that. So even in Latin America, Australia, places like just all over, people are getting back to realizing who are the indigenous people. Now I'll let you guys know, the whole world is colonized. Dami Waya just got the number 3 gifter badge. Make sure you grab your daily heart me at the top. The orange heart me right here. If you're participating, commenting, liking, go ahead and, you know, get in these TikTok street algorithms. So really everybody's like, what are we gonna do about the racism in this country? The real the real question that I have is like is the propaganda for racism is still being like pushed out so fast every single day. You see it every single day. It's done through so many ways that you don't even see it. And let's just be honest, it's done with religion, it's done with school, it's done with prisons, it's done with the government, Democrat versus Republicans, and they all on the same damn side. It's done with housing, it's done with work, it's done with rent, it's done with prices, taxes. It's done like on so many different levels that to break it, it really has to be first awakening. More people will have to wake up to realize what is going on. But when you cover it up with, you know, Christmas and Thanksgiving, and you get all these things going on, you kind of play into the society. So before last year, I was like, oh man, when I found out the truth, I was like, it's gonna take, I'm probably not gonna even be alive when we get to the point where people realize what the hell going on. This year, I would say maybe it will happen in my lifetime, and it's happening now. But I don't really know. I don't really know. Honestly, guys, I don't even know. I don't know. Once I researched the slave patrol and I realized they were institutionalized before the government, 100 years before the government, that's the real enemy. It's the people who are funding the prisons and, terrorizing our communities. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know when the expiration date of evil is. The seed has been planted for it to expire, but the date for that, I don't know. I don't know. I wish I could say, oh, it would happen tomorrow, but even in my own family, to wake my own family up is a task. I can't even wake my own family up with records and knowledge. It's still kind of like, oh no, I gotta just, trust what he call him, Sky Daddy. I don't know. Hey Doc, why are dragons such good musicians? Because they really know how to scale things up. Why don't dragons ever get lost? They always follow their instincts and leave a fiery trail behind. Oh, you got your dragon jokes today. What's the favorite dragon snack? Firecrackers. That's funny. Firecrackers. So yeah, we got to keep it moving. Keep it... I don't know, guys. At some point, when you just keep reading all the bad history, because it's out there. Like, when I go and I research history, because I'm not a historian, I'm a dentist. I'm a dentist by trade. Let's just be honest. In the past, I would never be into history. I used to not even study for history tests. I'm going to be honest. In high school, no, I'm not studying this. I'm an hour before the test, winging it, because it's not something I'm interested in. It's trying to teach, all of this hateful stuff. But now that I'm learning the true history, I have a different appreciation for it. But I also have to balance it because it can get really evil. The things that you read and learn, it can get evil. But if we're going to tell the truth, we got to tell the truth. That's how we wake up from the spell. That's how you wake up and you become this unapologetic person who speak their truth, because I wasn't always this way, like speaking my truth authentically, me, like being taught to be less than. But see, before my mom passed, when I was just a little girl, right, she always spoke affirmations to me because she already knew the way the world was back then. So I still feed off of that. I still go off of the things that she put in me. But before, living in a pseudo mindset where you've been colonized, it's a very depressing place to be. It's a very sad spirit that you have on you, because you always feel like somebody had to give you something and you brought it. I don't know how to describe it, but it feels like it is a disenfranchisement of your brain, of your mind, that is super hard to wake up from. And when it clicked for me, I was like, damn, I was really bamboozled. Like, dang, I was like deep into a spell, man. And it go crazy. It go crazy how deep I was in this spell about who I am. I don't even think people understand. That's why now I don't really give a fuck. I just I gotta tell my truth about what I'm seeing and reading. Why did the smartphone go to the dentist? It had a Bluetooth. That was kind of funny. Why did the smartphone go to the dentist? It had a Bluetooth. That was funny, Clipper 2000 fan. That was kind of funny. Great vibes. Just wanted to say thank you for inspiring and motivating. What's up, Edwin Smith? Thank you for, engaging and sending the positive energy. I appreciate it. You lost your mom. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. This is what happened to Prince Julian in my book. Yes, I lost my mom when I was 7.5 years old. She was in a car accident. Her and her best friend died. She was only in her early 20s because she had me at 14 years old. So she was super young. So when I say I came from the hood and poverty and being underserved, is not something that I'm making up. My mom was 14 years old. You see what I'm saying? And she didn't come from having her father. My dad didn't have, it's just generational curses placed by history that I'm realizing. So you can't even blame the people right now, even though we all have a decision to try to go in the right direction. Like I said, I'm so sorry. Now, guys, that's why I say I'm different now. Before, I would never be able to talk about this. I would never be able to, like, even help anybody else because it was something I just buried. When I was in my old identity, it's something that had me feeling depressed. It had me feeling like I didn't want to be on the earth. It had me feeling like, you know, the world was so evil. I used to feel like my skin was so bad. You get bullied. You don't got your parents. I didn't live with my dad. I'm having to go see him in a jail. Like, this is the childhood that I grew up in. So when I go back and I read history, I'm taking this from a whole other perspective. Like, what the? No wonder why none of my ancestors could thrive. It wasn't that they was not smart, not intelligent. It was because they were forced to do things outside of their culture, outside of their mind, outside of their body. So when I was a little girl, even though I said my mom was 14 years old, she told me that I was going to be a doctor. She said, you're going to be a doctor. And I didn't live with my mom. I didn't really, like, I was living with my grandma when she passed. So I had this super untraditional life where I never lived with my parents as much. I probably lived with my mom a little bit when we were in the projects called Joe Louis Projects in Tallahassee. I lived with her a little bit then. So I had a little time with her. But during that time, she already saw something in me to the point where she knew what I would face growing up. How hard it would be to survive in the hood. How hard it is to be a high schooler having to work. But I was such a dreamer. Like, I just knew it's another life. Like, I really didn't let the hood shit bother me. I was like, no, I can't be, like, stuck. I can't stay here in this mindset. So no matter what I had to go through, I don't care if it was working 3 jobs. Homelessness, which I talk about a lot. I was homeless in New York City, for God's sakes, during my residency. So all the way up from childhood to residency, all the way up until now, it is a struggle. And this struggle is not a fault of my own. It's not a fault of anyone of my family's own. It's because of history. This is why I need people to understand how bad colonization fucked people up. And have people in a life where they just give up. I was one of those people who gave up. I gave up on this doctoral dream. I gave up because I don't know. I don't know. You need a lot of motivation to really believe in yourself. You need a lot of motivation to give yourself self-love every day. You need a lot of, like, energy, positive energy, to keep going in a good direction. A lot of people give in. A lot of people give up. A lot of people let mental health, all the things the government doing, every little trick they play on you, how they don't even want to raise minimum wage even though they know it's not enough to sustain life. They making homelessness illegal even to this day. So I know the things and the tricks that is played on our mind and how hard you have to work to overcome it. Which is why I speak my voice, which is why I get on here, because somebody need to hear it. Somebody need to know, regardless of what the government did, regardless of what your upbringing was with your parents, regardless of what you don't have, you still have the opportunity to think of some genius shit. Like, you still living, you still got a life, you still got a mind. Why are you wasting your time? When my mom told me that I was going to be a dentist, she wasn't here on the earth to get me through the route. She wasn't here when I first started my first day of college and I had to go on the campus by myself. I had to be bold. I had to be like, you know what? I can either lead a life of excuses and say, you know, my mom passed, my daddy wasn't here, you know, he was out doing the street life. I saw him do a lot of things that wasn't really good. I can either take that route, or I can just be like, fake it till I make it. Even though I don't feel like I'm good enough because I'm black and they say black people can't do this. Even though I feel like, you know, they pick on dark skin. You know, even though I had a lot of those feelings from what school had taught me now. I still push and try. So you have to still push and try. And in this moment, in this day and age, in 2025, when you can know who you are, listen, you better take life by the horns and live your best life. I know it's a lot going on with history, but the best life really is just being happy from the inside out. We did so much. We did do so much. It's being happy from the inside out with no chains on your brain. Because a lot of us, me and the chief talk about this, a lot of us sitting in a prison and there's no guards. There's no prison master, I guess you can call him. You don't have a chain on. You just laying in the prison bed. The door's open. You scared to walk out the door. Now that's propaganda for your ass. After this live stream, I will share with you a piece of my book where they talk about Julian's mom. From what I've heard, she sounds like an extraordinary woman. I know you loved her and she loved you. I can only imagine what you're going through right now. Losing her must have been hard. When did you decide to become a dentist? Great question, Clifford 2000 fan. That's a really good question. And you just said a lot too. Yes, my mom was an extraordinary woman. Even though she was just a teenager when she had me. I didn't live with her a lot. Like I said, when she passed, I wasn't living with her. I was living with my dad's mom. And it was super, super hard losing her at such a young age. Like, I cried all the time. And then we were faced with custody battles. So it was court all the time. We were moving left and right from this grandma to that grandma. Like, I never went to the same school more than 1 year. So I always lost my friendships. And it was really tough. So school kind of saved me, honestly. School came easy for me. Being around the right people came easy for me, and her planting that seed for me to become a doctor pushed me. So after high school, I saw my high school classmates in the International Baccalaureate program, which is like a college program, applying to college. So I'm like, dang, I kind of saw them doing it, so I decided to apply to college. And I thought I would be a neurosurgeon back then, hence this brain cap I got on. I always wanted to be a brain surgeon. And then when I got to college at Florida State University, home of the Seminoles, might I add, when I got there, I had the whole idea. I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do, guys. I thought about being a podiatrist. I looked into that. I thought about pharmacy. I thought about CRNA, a certified registered nurse anesthetist. I tried to do the MD route. I didn't really try it. I was just researching it. In some kind of way, I met one of my classmates. Her name was April at Florida State University in a math class. I think it might have been trigonometry. And this was the first time I even realized that black people were dentists. This is just like now I meet patients who was like, damn, I never seen a black dentist, you know. And she said she was in military. She came up in a good family, had her mom, her dad, and she was having her little sister on campus to shadow her. So we just, you know, we was cool and stuff. I'm like, dang, so what's your major? You know how college students do. And she was like, oh, I'm pre-dental. I was like, black girl, pre-dental? I was like, I never thought about that. I had never thought about it until like my sophomore year of college at Florida State. Then the whole thing changed. I joined the pre-dental society at Florida State University. I started getting all the DAT books. That's the dental admissions test that you have to study for. And my whole path changed. As a science major, from biology to exercise science major, they pretty much have the same prerequisites. So I didn't have to change my major or anything. I just had to change my mindset to now pursue teeth. And that's when I decided to become a dentist. And also just being in the hood, seeing everybody around me struggle with toothaches and things like that, that also helped me to decide to become a dentist. Am I happy I became a dentist? Hell yeah. It's very, very tough career. I think somebody said, Lala said, amen, you did it. Period. Period. Y'all can see my little graduation picture here on the wall. You see it. You see it. Hey, you see it? And then that's my mom up there. She said, period. Yeah, so that's my story. And that's why I go so hard with just learning this part of life, because I never knew it. And it has literally changed my life. Being a dentist, indigenous, and an entrepreneur. Yeah. Clock that T, boo. Clock that T. And a streamer. Don't play with her. What? Don't play with her. Don't play with the Niji. Don't play with us. We do extraordinary things when we uninhibited by oppression. Did you hear me? We do extraordinary things when we uninhibited by oppression. But the secret is, the gag is, you can take that oppression right out of your brain and toss it over there somewhere. You can take that doubt right out of your noggin and toss it over there somewhere. You can take those naysayers right out of your ear and put them over there somewhere. That's what we can do. Becoming a dentist was one of the hardest things I ever done in my life. One of the hardest things I could ever face in my life. And at the time when I was doing it, when I was that little ambitious, young, melanated, Niji, indigenous, autochthonous Indian from Tallahassee, I didn't know what generational curse I was breaking. And most of y'all don't even know, when I graduated and I told my story, having a 14-year-old mom, my dad being, into substance abuse and in prison. When I told that story, it went viral in one day on Facebook. This was back then before everything was like going crazy. But it went crazy because people, I didn't even know. And when I told the story, I was feeling my lowest. I was like, it just like, and I was like, wow, people really need to hear this. Someone needs to hear, people really inspired by this. During this time and during this age, when so many of us are set up in the trap to fail, we set up to fail. We set up to go to give up our dream. We set up in high school. People don't know that they set you up to go to be a laborer, to go to work. They don't set you up to go to be a dreamer. They don't set you up to go to be a trader, to invest. They don't set you up for that. You got to set you up for that. Or your family, it has to be a legacy of setting you up for that. So when I'm here, I'm a generational curse breaker because I didn't allow the system to tell me who I was going to become. I did not. I said, oh, I got to work that hard? Bet. Oh, I got to go through that route? Bet. Oh, I failed? Oh, let me try again. I'm 60. Wow. That's amazing. You got to be a generational curse breaker. You can't ever settle. You can't. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. So I'm so grateful for all the people who inspired me, all the people who I look up to, all the people who doing the research, all the people who care about knowledge, about truth, about just being on this whole new wavelength. Your story is beautiful. Thank you, Lala. It was a long journey. It didn't start beautiful for me because losing my mom, boy, that really set me back as a child. That's one of the hardest pains you can ever go through, and to do that at 7, 8 years old when you just like this dreamer and you just like, well, dang. It can leave you a little lost when you lose somebody like that so young. It can break your heart forever. To overcome that, it takes some passion. That's what I'm telling y'all today. If you got something that you got to overcome to get to the passionate part of your life, to the purpose part of your life, you just got to do it. Just like us with the American Indians, our journey ahead is so long. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be handed to us. It's not going to be written for us. We're going to have to do the work. I know I lost my mother. Wow. What age did you lose your mom, Lala? I'm so sorry. To anybody who has lost a mom, like, especially a good mama. A good mama gonna pour that love into you unconditionally, hype you up. Yeah. It's really tough, but we have to continue encouraging ourselves, motivating ourselves, standing on business for yourself, not being afraid of the history, and never allowing another person to put you in a box. It just can't happen. 50 something. Wow. Sending love to anybody who has lost a mom. It's probably just recently I have stopped crying and I can talk about it. For a long time I wouldn't go to my mom's burial site because it was just so hard. Like, being a young girl growing up without a dad and a mom in the house, and you trying to be a doctor, and you trying to overcome all the BS life is throwing at you, and you don't know who you are. Something like a miracle. There's a lot of us who are miracles out here. We're miracles because we overcame extraordinary things. She said, yes, it hurts. It definitely hurts. And the hurt, I don't feel like the hurt ever goes away. It's always like a wound that is always there. And you have these triggers. Like, I used to get triggered by everything back in the day. But now, I only get triggered like on my mom's birthday or Mother's Day, or if I'm feeling really sad at work and I'm like, dang, if I only had a mom to call. Like, you know, you just want to hear that motherly love. So those are the days that are triggers for me. But before, everything was a trigger. But you live, you learn, and now I do these things. I come and I inspire others because I know that's what my mom would want. She wouldn't want me to be this dentist who made it to my goal, and now I'm so sad because I can't share it with her, and now I just, give up. Now I just sit around sad and feeling defeated, because you can have that as a professional. People don't know that dentists have the number one suicidal rate, because the shit is not a joke. It's not a joke. I used to feel so sad and overwhelmed that demon used to try to come and I'm happy that I was able to overcome it, because that demon used to make me feel so sad, missing my mom, feeling like a failure after I graduated, being homeless, all these things, just trying to figure out entrepreneurship and trying to do it right and failing and this happening and bills. You can get so overwhelmed that you feel like, dang, I just don't feel like trying no more. But I am so thankful that I was able to recognize my worth, recognize history, recognize the trick of it all, walk up out of that prison I told you that people are in. They're in the prison with no chains. Walk up out of there with my head held high and still pursue my purpose and follow my passion and inspire other people. So that's what it's about. Supreme Rising, CB Kicks, how you feeling? How you feeling? So that's what it's about. That's why now, this is me. I can only be me. I can only show up as me. I can only try my hardest. I can only tell the truth from what I know, to connect with other people, like-minded people, so that we can rise and be in a higher level of thinking, and wake up every day ready to win. Wake up every day ready to learn something new. Wake up every day ready to accomplish our goals. and not just stay stagnant, because it's a war out here. It might not be a lot of, loudness going on, but it's a mental war. It's a war on your brain. It's a war on your mind. And you got to control your mind. We have to control our own mindset, guys. So on today, just know who you are. I thank y'all for chilling with me, just keeping me company. And, sharing them positive vibes. I had this whole little segment I was going to go into about something deep with history, but I ain't feel like crying today. I didn't feel like crying today because, guys, I've been reading a lot for the past 2 days, and then immediately I'll come and bring it live, and then I end up crying because it's just so overwhelming. Like when I was reading about Thomas Jefferson yesterday and his breeding farms and all of this stuff, and it just was too much. I just be like, it's just too much. I'm leaving from you. I'm leaving from you. I'm learning. Are you learning from me or leaving from me? La la. If you meant you learning from me, that is so awesome. And I learned from y'all too. Like the other day, Clifford 2000 fan taught me a new word about, I think it was sagacious. So that word sagacious means wisdom. So today we want to lead a sagacious life. We want to have a sagacious day, a wise day, where you hold your head up high, you got your crown on, you look at every enemy in the eye like you already know you won the battle. To my Amerindians out there, we already won the battle because the battle was already won from the beginning. You got to stand up with pride. You got to stand tall. And just be who you truly are. That's it. We may not have every little answer figured out, because I don't know. I'm still trying to link up with people to figure out, like, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here, guys? So if you know where to go from here, y'all let me know in the chat. Where do we go from here? Where? But until then, until we figure out where we go from here, I'm just going to keep reading. And it might hurt my feelings when I read some of this BS that be going on, but I have to keep uncovering. I appreciate so many people for uncovering the truth. I just, there's a channel on YouTube called Lena. Y'all got to go follow him. Lena dropped the receipts. He dropped the receipts. Dane Calloway dropped receipts. Who else? Tim and Phoebe, they dropped the receipts. Who else be dropping the receipts? Let me know who be dropping the receipts. I can't wait till we get to the point where we having Amerindian reunions, like events, like we back in our travel wear, like, because that was banned. That's people ask, what happened to the culture? Well, the culture was banned. They were doing a lot of things that you could lose your culture. Banning clothes, banning books, banning reading, banning writing. So people, where's the culture? Stop acting dumb. Okay? But the real is back. Keep telling the truth. I will, I will. My whole mission now is to keep telling the truth, to be a bold knowledge soldier. A bold person who's willing to go back and do the research and just bring it back to the tribe. That's why I'm Dr. Chiefess Sunflower, because the sun gonna keep shining over here. We the sun people. A chiefess has to be on the forefront to wake people up, to uncover and unlock something in you where you like, dang, and now you go out and you teach other people, and then you come back to the tribe and you teach me something. I learned from so many people. And I'm so grateful to the people who even care enough about me to say, hey, you're not this, you're that. And I'm sitting here looking like a deer in the headlights, like, what? For a long time, guys, when I was hearing all this Amerindian information, I was sitting like, what? Because it's kind of shocking, because the whole thing, is I'm a slave from Africa. This is what you believe. And then when you hear something, okay, we back YouTube. All right, guys. So my time here is almost up. Let me know if you got any last minute thoughts in the chat. You got any questions in the chat? Drop it in the chat. We got about 2-3 more minutes on here. Then I'm out until tomorrow. Um, can't I just sit and watch your lives? Yes, you can. All my live replays are available on my YouTube channel, Dr. Cheapest Sunflower. And I also break them down into videos where it's not so much fluff, because I do a lot of and when you live you can't really take that out. But I definitely appreciate y'all joining me today, and yes, I will see you tomorrow. My time is normally 8, but lately I've been so exhausted from doing dentistry that I ain't gonna lie, I be waking up a little bit late, and I'm sorry, I gotta get back on the ball. But at least I show up every day. This is almost day like 50 something. And we got 365 days total to get done. So I'm showing up. I'm not failing this challenge this time. I already failed 3 times, so I will see y'all tomorrow. CB Kid says, start a pay forward to all those who want to discover their lineage and identity, who have heard of oral traditions of American Indian and don't have the finance. How would I do it? Have a great day. Thank you, CB Kicks. So I have an idea. So for the people who want to discover their lineage and identity and don't have the finance, I'm going to show y'all how easy it is to get on Ancestry.com. And maybe I'll give someone a subscription to it. I don't know. We'll think of something. But I think first of all, just get it on there. I think it may be free to get on. So we'll do that sometime this week. Alright, this is Dr. Cheapest Sunflower. Thank you for coming in the live. Thank you for tapping the hearts, following, engaging. I appreciate you guys, and I will see y'all tomorrow.